perspective on something is so sort of essential, so basic almost and clear, that it's hard to hang on to. It's like a dream. It's sort of, oh yeah, I got that, it's gone. So you were talking about the gem, the essence of what you've distilled in your mind, I guess.
You know, I was thinking when you're saying what's hard to hang on to, what comes to mind is that when I hear something that I already know implicitly, it's hard to remember it because I know it.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of separate this implicit knowing and bring it out and articulate it. And so when I hear it out here, it kind of validates what I already know. It's not like new information and makes it hard to kind of hang on to.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because that also for me relates to the point of Hakomi and the gems. I would say there's two real gems about Hakomi that make it powerful for people but also distinctive as a therapy method. And one is that it is designed to be a way of assisting somebody to know themselves. And to know themselves, to bring their implicit knowing, talk about that, into consciousness where there's more choice about the ways that they're habitually organizing experience. There's more choice about the ways of seeing the world, of making meaning of things, of seeing and expressing who they are. And all of that is kind of an implicit way of knowing ourselves. You know, we grow up just making so many assumptions about who we are and what kind of world we're living in. And some of the assumptions are wrong, but they're implicit, so we don't challenge them. They're outside of consciousness, implicit rather than explicit. If it's explicit, I can point at it, articulate it, and write it down and tell you about it. But if it's implicit, I just know it. But what I just know sometimes is based on childhood perception, child's way of making meaning of things, wrong assumptions, wrong messages we got. And so bringing those from implicit to explicit so that a discovery is made about how someone is already organizing experience and what other possibilities are there that might be more nourishing. I think, so the gem for me is this part of the method which is using little experiments that are done in mindfulness that are designed to help somebody discover who they are. Not me telling them who they are, but by exploring something really simple, you know, a reaction to an experiment can be as simple as a movement or a touch or a phrase. By really paying attention in mindfulness, which is not just talking about something from our conscious cognitive knowing, but actually taking the time to listen inside, and we're listening to body, including thoughts and feelings. Our embodied response to something has information about this implicit way we're organized. So using experiments in mindfulness to assist somebody to make a discovery. That's very, very characteristic of Hakomi. And the other gem for me is that since this exploration is a collaborative one, the relationship we have is the foundation for that exploration. And the best state of mind for me to be in to assist someone else to explore is what we call in Hakomi loving presence. And loving presence isn't about being loving. It's a radical idea, really, which is that if I if my first priority as a helper, as a therapist, is to find inspiration and nourishment in just being with someone, and I fill up with that feeling of being nourished and inspired, then I'm in the state of mind that I can create the context, the relational context for the other person to explore, to reveal themselves, explore themselves, and feel good about a discovery. So there's a practice to get into the new habit of looking for what's right, instead of looking for something wrong or something to fix,
Right.
or focusing on problems, or even focusing on what the person is saying.